In this video, we're going to talk about how Apple became so powerful in just 42 years. The story of Apple begins in a small garage located in Los Altos, California. The year was 1976, and the owners of the garage, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, were just two ordinary guys who shared a passion for electronics. They had no idea that their little hobby would soon become one of the most valuable companies in the world. At that time, personal computers were not yet mainstream, and the only way to get one was to build it yourself. This is exactly what Woz did. He was famous in the area for his skills. When he built a computer from scratch, it was so good that people started asking him to build them computers too. And when he started charging money for this, he realized that he could make enough to live off of his hobby. But there was a problem. He couldn't keep up with all the demand. So he decided to partner up with his friend Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs' job was to sell Woz's computers to the people that wanted them. And Jobs wasn't your average salesperson. He had a unique talent for marketing, and he quickly made a name for himself in the industry. In fact, when Jobs entered the scene, he had a vision of selling 100 computers per week. But even he didn't expect what was about to happen in the first month. They sold over 200 computers, then 300, then 400. And soon they were making more than 1,000 sales every single week. The money was rolling in, and the two friends couldn't believe their luck. But this success also brought some problems. For example, Wozniak didn't like to do paperwork and other business-related tasks. That's why he handed it all over to Jobs and focused on building computers. On the other hand, Jobs was spending more and more time on marketing and sales rather than actually working on the product. It got to the point where they both realized that they needed to bring someone else into the mix, someone who would be able to take care of the business side of things, while they focused on what they loved the most, creating the best computers in the world. And this is when they met Mike. He was an engineer who previously worked at Intel, and he immediately saw the potential of the company. He agreed to join them and invest $250,000, which was exactly what the company needed to grow. Makula was the missing piece of the puzzle. He brought the necessary business expertise and helped the team expand to new heights. In 1977, the company officially changed its name to Apple Computer Inc. The name was inspired by one of Wozniak's favorite bands, the Beatles, who once said, "When I'm 64, I'd like to turn my computer on and all my toys will come out and play." But they chose the Apple logo because it symbolized Macintosh, one of Wozniak's favorite fruits at the time. They continued growing rapidly, and by the end of the decade, they employed more than 400 people and had over $1 billion in revenue. However, they weren't alone anymore. Other competitors like IBM entered the market and the competition was fierce, but Apple managed to stay ahead of the curve, thanks to one man, Steve Jobs. He knew that the future was in graphical user interfaces, and he spent years developing the perfect operating system. Finally, in 1984, it was ready, and Jobs blew everyone away. At that year's Worldwide Developers Conference, the Macintosh was unveiled, and it changed the world forever. This computer came with a full-fledged GUI and mouse support, something that none of their competitors could offer. Sales went through the roof. In the first day of sales, they sold out all 100,000 machines that they had prepared. By the end of the year, they sold 700,000 Macs. But the joy didn't last for long. In the following years, IBM released compatible computers that ran third-party software. This took a big chunk out of Apple's market share, and their stock prices began to fall. Jobs tried to reinvent the company several times, but nothing really worked. Soon he was forced to leave the company that he co. It was a sad moment not only for Jobs, but for the entire industry. Some say that this was the end of Apple as we knew it. But they were wrong. What happened next was beyond anyone's expectations. After his dismissal, Jobs founded a new company called Next. Meanwhile, Apple was in desperate need of a new hit product. Their current operating system, System 7, was outdated and couldn't compete with Windows. They needed something fresh, something that would blow everyone away. And this is when the macOS team lead Avner Boyum approached management with a crazy idea. He wanted to redesign the entire operating system from scratch. Management loved the idea and gave him the green light. For the next 3 years, Baum and his team worked tirelessly on what would become known as macOS X. It introduced a number of revolutionary features such as a revamped Finder window, Aqua interface, Expose, Spaces, Dashboard, and many others. It was truly amazing, and the critics loved it. But there was a problem. Apple simply wasn't strong enough to promote it to developers. Without developer support, macOS X would never reach its full potential. This is when Apple made a move that shocked the world. They acquired Next, bought out all of their technologies, and hired Steve Jobs back. Now that he was back in the game, he set his sights on winning back market share from Windows. He made a series of ads comparing Windows and macOS. They were so good that they won multiple awards. But the best part was that they were also effective. Slowly but surely, developers began switching sides and the tide was turning. Then came macOS X, Cheetah, which was so popular that it led to a total revival of the Mac. Sales went through the roof and everyone thought that this was it. Apple was finally back on top, but they had bigger plans. The iMac was unveiled the same year. Its transparent design caught everyone's attention, and it became an instant bestseller. With each new release, Apple was gaining more and more ground. They kept releasing innovative products like the iPod, iPhone, MacBook Air, LED cinema displays, and many others. Meanwhile, their advertising reached a whole new level with iconic ads like "Get a Mac" and "I'm a Mac." Every new product launch was a media frenzy. People couldn't wait to get their hands on the latest gadgets. But the competition wasn't sitting idle either. They kept trying to copy Apple's success with mixed results. While some products like the Surface were successful, others were not. As time went on, Apple continued to build on their success. They expanded into new markets, acquired promising companies, and developed groundbreaking technologies. Today, Apple is one of the most powerful companies in the world. They've created some of the most innovative products and services ever seen before, and their influence on the tech industry is undeniable. So, what's the secret behind Apple's success? Why have they been able to maintain their dominance for so long? Well, there are many factors at play. One of the most important ones is their ability to innovate. Apple has always been a company that pushes the boundaries of what's possible. They're not afraid to take risks and experiment with new ideas. This has allowed them to create products that surprise and delight customers, keeping them loyal to the brand. Another factor contributing to Apple's success is their strong brand identity. From the iconic Apple logo to the company's commitment to design and innovation, everything about Apple is carefully crafted to project a certain image. This consistency in messaging has helped the company build a strong emotional connection with customers, which leads to increased brand loyalty and advocacy. Moreover, Apple's ecosystem of products and services plays a crucial role in their success. Once a customer buys into the Apple ecosystem, they're more likely to stay within it due to the seamless integration between devices and services. This creates a barrier to entry for competitors, making it difficult for them to win over Apple's loyal customer base. Furthermore, Apple's focus on simplicity and ease of use has been a key differentiator for them. Their products and services are designed to be intuitive and user-friendly, which appeals to a wide range of customers, including those who aren't particularly tech-savvy. This has allowed Apple to expand their customer base beyond early adopters and enthusiasts, reaching the mainstream market. Finally, Apple's global reach and distribution network have been instrumental to their success. They have a strong presence in key markets around the world, allowing them to tap into new customer bases and expand their reach. Their strategic partnerships with carriers, retailers, and other distributors ensure that Apple products and services are readily available to customers, making it convenient for them to buy and use Apple's offerings. In conclusion, Apple's journey from a small garage operation to a global powerhouse is truly remarkable. Their ability to innovate, strong brand identity, ecosystem of products and services, focus on simplicity and global reach have been instrumental to their success. As technology continues to evolve, it'll be interesting to see how Apple adapts and innovates to maintain its position as a leader in the industry.